All right. So we're going to move on, and we'll talk a little bit of this week in MLS, I think, unless we want to go and we want to focus on RSL for a little bit and talk about how they're really not good.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of my roundup. So we spoke about how RSL's toward the bottom of the West. They only lost 2-1 to Vancouver over the weekend. They're still in a playoff spot, so they're okay for right now at the moment, but dear God, they need someone who can put the ball in the net. Like, it's very difficult to win games in this league if you can't score. And by very difficult, I mean like kind of impossible.
Well, I mean, you could get own goals.
Yes, which
sure,
yeah, but I don't think relying on own goals is a viable strategy for a professional team.
Well, this is why you're not a professional coach. Okay?
You got a point.
I do have a point.
I wouldn't. So this actually wouldn't have been something we spoke about tonight if I didn't see what their coach said after their loss the other day. He said the fact that they don't have a proven like 15, 20 goal a year striker, it's been a problem for 4 or 5 years. They don't have someone who will score us a lot of goals. If only there was a time during the year where you could like bring in a goal scorer. Like MLS should
cutthroat price.
Yeah, like MLS should, make some sort of like transfer window where you could just bring like a player if you really need a striker one year. Like you just spend a lot of money and go for that. That'd be a good idea. That would make some really interesting things around the league.
Man, they brought in Sam Johnson.
Cool.
In 2019, and he has 10 goals. He scored 9 goals last year, but he has 1 goal in 10 games in 3 starts. I don't know if he's been hurt. I don't know if he just kind of sucks, but it's kind of ridiculous that you were going to sign a designated player. This is a Verone-esque signing. Sign him, performs, comes back, and you just don't put him on the field. And that's just pure coaching fallacy. You've got somebody there who has you 9 goals in just 1,300 minutes. It's not brilliant. It's not amazing. But you guys don't have a goal scorer, and you have one sitting on the bench. You've given him 330 minutes this year. Is he hurt? I don't know. I will look it up. But if he isn't, that's ridiculous.
So they do. I will cut them a little slack. They do have a bunch of their attacking players who are out injured right now, but they still, even with everyone healthy, they don't have like a Bradley Wright Phillips or a Joseph who's is gonna be their main striker and get you 20 goals a season and like win you games single handedly. They just don't have that, and the fact that this coach has been there for 4 or 5 years and hasn't addressed it is an issue. I could understand if this was his first year and was like, oh, we don't have a striker this year, so that'll be something we look into going into next season. Like, you've had how many transfer windows to fix this and just haven't done it. Granted, RSL's owner and upper management is a bit of a mess right now. We won't really go into his comments, but maybe there's an issue,
Oh, for sure.
there. But at some point, you got to kind of just look at the manager and say,
yeah,
like, you need to fix this. Like, it's kind of on you now.
So here is what I'll say. Two days ago, MLS updated their injury list. There's only one striker on there, and his name is Giuseppe Rossi.
Yeah.
Who, first of all, if that's your answer into your scoring issues, you need to look at front office because that's an awful decision. The dude is 33, and he's been a walking injury since he went to Italy and turned down America. And you're like, yeah, this is the guy. Sam Johnson is not on there. What's Corey Baird up to? Corey Baird blew up one year and he disappeared. What is going on in Utah? Let's get some stats.
I'll use stats. You know how we were talking about the center back question earlier for Atlanta?
Yeah.
I might have found someone that I think could fill in well, but I don't know how realistic
You're
the move
not
would
signing Gerard Piqué. I'm sorry.
be. No.
I know Barcelona are throwing everybody out the door.
Actually, I was going to say Messi, but
Oh, that was a good shout.
At center back, that's well done.
Yeah.
You think Messi couldn't play center back in this league?
He probably could.
I was thinking Cameron Carter-Vickers.
Oh, that'd be cheeky. I don't think he'd fit this system, but I think it'd be cheeky.
Well, the only reason I say him is because his contract expires June 30th next year. He's currently at Tottenham, and we have Darren who has good Tottenham connections. They could probably get us a decent price for him if they even decided they wanted to pay, or if maybe they wanted to try to get him on free.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like he's kind of stunted his growth over in Europe, and could probably maybe use a new change of scenery. So I think the move could be good for both parties, possibly.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. So
So
going back to
who your other option could be, Connor? You could slot back at center back.
I'm afraid to hear what you're about to say. Is it going to be Julian Grassel?
No, that'd be funny.
I was going to say Reece Buckmaster. I heard he's available.
Oh yeah, I was going to say Mo Adams.
Mo Adams probably do less damage or less negative at center back than he does at center mid.
Or
Anyways, Big Yef.
Put Big Yef back there. He's got pace.
I can't stand when he's center back.
Corey Baird, 13 appearances, 9 starts, 800 minutes, 2 goals. Albert Rusnak, and I'm listing just everybody here is listed as a forward. Kryluk, who plays center mid. Miram, who has done nothing. He's got 3 goals in about 800 minutes. Rusnak has 2 goals in 900 minutes. It's almost, you can see it's I don't know what, Rusnak's in there twice. I don't know why.
He's that good.
Kryluk's in there too. Maybe this is just I don't know. But anyways, you're looking at, it has to be a system thing, because it's not like you've got one player scoring a ton and then he gets hurt. Nobody's scoring, nobody's getting assists. It's got to be a system thing. Like you can sign anybody you want. But if you're not going to get a system that's going to help, bad things are going to happen. And that's why RSL is, that's got to be. I'm going to make it an effort to watch RSL next time they play. I'm going to look up the schedule real quick so we can talk about it. RSL next play.
You're going to have a lot of fun with that one, I bet.
I bet you. RSL's next game is against Portland, 9:30 on, is that a Wednesday? On Wednesday. Good. So I'll put out tweets, follow the Twitter so we can share this. I'll put this video out, this clip out when this goes live, and then we'll talk about it.
Can you believe this RSL team was 3rd in the West last season?
Absurd. Absolutely absurd. But they sold all their good players from that team and didn't replace them. That's what happens.
Yeah. The guys at the end of season, I'm trying to remember who they sold.
Everybody. Literally everybody.
Ja Plata's gone. Who was the other one? The guy who he went to, I think, Colombia, I think.
I mean, Yuri Movsisian, but that's
Movsisian's that's not the right answer. Sorry.
I know, but he was also gone.
Well, I'll look it up. Let's move on and finish some of the other talking points we had.
All right. So we spoke briefly about Benny Ball after a decade at DC.
R.I.P.
He is no longer there. So we will see. DC is now one of 2 MLS clubs that don't have a permanent manager in place. So we shall see what DC does. I'm sure he will be involved in the front office in some capacity. I'd have to imagine after that long at the club.
Yeah.
2 transfers now. So one confirmed, one just a rumor. Federico Higuain to Miami. This doesn't really do anything for me.
Brothers.
Yeah, I have to assume it was some sort of it was part of Gonzalo's contract negotiations when he signed for Miami that they would then try to go for his brother just so the two of them can play together.
Which I have no issue with that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. The last time they played together was back when they were in Argentina at River Plate. So I'm sure it's nice to be training every day with the two of them now.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
But it's not as if Federico is playing every week with DC anymore. So I can't imagine he's going to get a whole lot of game time for Miami. I mean, our midfield's pretty set right now, especially with Matuidi starting every game, Pizarro, Lewis Morgan. Like, our midfield's kind of set. He'll probably come in at the very end of games, like 10 minutes left, if that, and just, brief cameo appearances.
Yep.
Then the other one, and I'm very curious to see, A, if this happens, and B, what team he goes to. Sergio Romero is linked with a bunch of MLS clubs.
That'd be so crazy.
I have to imagine he comes in and is the best goalie in the league.
I'd argue that there are some that can at least challenge him. I think Guzan is still solid. No matter how much he cries about what goes on. I think Stephen Fry is still up there.
Matt Turner. At least right now.
Oh, Connor. We had this discussion last week.
Connor, we talked about this already. Yeah.
I'm catching up.
But yeah,
you talked about Matt Turner and Stephen, right?
Yeah.
Comparing them.
Yeah.
He's not Stephen. Not even close.
No, but
thanks for your input. You're a week late.
Yeah. So Sergio Romero's looks like could be coming. With Dean Henderson now being David De Gea's starting rival / backup, Romero gets demoted to third string. I know he wanted to leave over this past summer transfer window, and United, for whatever reason, said no. I know his wife was very unhappy with that and posted to social media and, basically said, look at what he's given this club. He's never really actively tried to push for a starting role. He's been, content with the odd cup appearances, which, to be fair, he's done extremely well in. And this is how they repay him. So I'll be interested to see, A, if an MLS team picks him up because he's a quality keeper. I kind of think of it as a similar situation to when Manone went to Minnesota. So we'll see.
I would love for him to come in and be the next Reddy Semboli. That would make me happy. Have Sean Johnson go somewhere in Europe and then bring him into City and then have him be Reddy Semboli. That would make my life.
Fair.
Yeah. I could see him going to LA. Either one of the teams.
I can't see him going to LAFC just because they brought in a new goalie this year. Granted, he's been not stellar.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, comparing him to Tyler Miller from last season is, you're never gonna win. You're never gonna win that battle. But he hasn't been fantastic. Granted, the LAFC backline as a whole this year has not been what it was. So, take or leave it. But
go to the Galaxy then.
Yeah, he's international teammates with Pavone. I'm sure they're friends. I'm sure Insua is also Argentinian, so I'm sure there are enough.
I wonder if he was he at United at the same time as Chicharito?
Probably.
There you go. Even more connection.
Yeah. So potentially,
they need more people who Chicharito want.
Yeah, because that helps him score.
He's the face of the team.
Oh my god.
Even I'm getting pissed at that.
Yeah.
He probably is the face of the team. Doesn't mean he deserves to be.
Anyways.
Yeah. And last but not least, just to wrap things up, the Red Bulls finally decided on a coach. They decided to pay probably a lot of money.
$2 million. It was at least $2 million.
Yeah, which is a lot of money.
Yeah, for a coach. We won't spend that on players unless they're going to go straight to our second team and never feature.
Exactly. So they brought in Gerhard Struber from Barnsley in England. I understand why for the most part, but it's not as if Barnsley's playing this like expansive football and doing super well in the championship. Like they're bottom of the table. So
from what I've heard, he was doing a lot of really good things or had a lot of really good ideas that the board was just saying, I'm not getting you the players to play this system. Like the system that he wanted to play looked really good, but he didn't have the players to do it. Like you could see what was trying to happen. It just wasn't there. And I think Philwell is basically saying, I'm going to pay you to take your manager. And then I'm going to tell him I'm giving him financial backing.
So I wouldn't have a problem with that if the three of us knew what the Red Bulls actually did. So they can tell him all they want. Hey, we understand you might not have the players at Barnsley to play the way you want, but if you come to Red Bull, like, we got you. And then they'll sign some 15-year-old from wherever that isn't going to actually do anything.
Yeah, no, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm going to go with a little bit of hope is the word I'm going to use. I'm going to be hopeful that they're not going to go out and pay $2 million for a guy just to say, okay, take whatever crap players we have and make it work. At least if you're not taking him from Barcelona, right? Like if you're going to take him from some bottom of the table championship team, I assume you're going to give him some sort of backing. So we're going to give him some benefit there.
Yeah, I mean, when it was first announced, I was a little confused because it seemed fairly random as far as like, why are you guys looking at Barnsley's coach? Like that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me until I found out that he used to work for Red Bull Salzburg. So he was their U15, 16, and under 19 coach. So I get it because we only hire from within. Because
you knew who they were going to hire was not going to be somebody we all knew.
Yes.
You knew they were going to go find somebody nobody's heard of, which is why I'm not going to jump and say I can't believe you didn't hire this guy. We all knew nobody. It's like the Hans Backe signing. Nobody knew who he was, but we're going to give him the shot. And he's been in the system. He knows how we want to play, and that's why I think they're also going to give him backing. You're not just going to let him go and attack a team that doesn't have the players to play the system you want to play without giving him some sort of backing.
Yeah, it was just one of those, like, I fully understand and I'm okay with Red Bull, having a system in place and the way that as a global franchise that they want to play. So hiring a coach that has experience and knows the ins and outs of how Red Bull operate, like, I get it. But at the same time, when I saw that they signed him and that he had those connections, I was like, yeah, all right. Like, that's fine. Like, I wasn't expecting them to go and, be in Atlanta and sign a Tata Martino. Like, that's not what Red Bull do. Right. That was never going to happen. But it just doesn't surprise me that it's some random guy that I've never heard of, but also has connections within Red Bull.
Yeah, no, like I said, I knew this is the type of signing we were going to get. I rumored, and everybody has said that people were really hyped about what was going on. But again, positive outlook, positive vibe. We'll see what happens. On a side note, those players that we were talking about, the RSL players that were let go, Jefferson Savarino.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Bofo Salcedo.
Mm.
And Danilo Acosta and Everton Luis.
Gotcha.
And Ramondo retired.
And Ramondo retired. And João Plata just stopped playing. João Plata is currently without a club. Or no, just kidding. He's at Toluca.
He is with a club, but I think he was just released.
Yeah, he was released and then Toluca picked him up, which is ridiculous. But anyways, we'll just talk real quick about games that just ended. Toronto, congratulations, my Toronto fans. Evan Murky, shout out you because you keep asking me to do it. Toronto FC have been the first team to officially claim their spot in the MLS Cup playoffs. Well done. As we said last week, Toronto are probably the best of those four that we were talking about, and they have shown it today. Other things that just happened. The only reason they did that is because FCC apparently just got robbed of a penalty. We'll have to watch that back and talk about it. But in the 94th minute, there was a penalty call, and VAR overturned it for FCC. And I know Adam's probably smiling, saying good. Put FCC at the bottom.
Hate to see it. I am devastated.
Put them at the bottom of the table where they belong, right?
No, DC's still there.
Philadelphia beat Montreal 2-1. SKC scored a wonder goal to beat Nashville. I tweeted out on the podcast. Go follow us at the DBPod1. Put a little reply to it. Amadou Dia plays the ball over the top, and Eric Hurtado runs over lets the ball go over his shoulder. One-time volley chip over Joe Willis into the back of the net. We thought Caden Clark hit a good one-time volley. This thing is unreal. Go check it out. Chicago beat DCU 2-1 and LAFC 3-1 over Seattle. Oh, man. What do we got? We got predictions for Portland, San Jose. What are we thinking?
Before we do predictions, I just want to – if you haven't seen Ladero's goal, you should do that because it's gross.
I watched that too.
Okay.
Yeah, that was nasty. So what do we got? Just real quick. We'll do one prediction for the episode since we're here. Portland, San Jose. What are we saying?
3-1 Portland.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 4-1 Portland.
I'm going to say 2-2. I think San Jose are going to keep going a little bit in a positive direction and pick up a point here.
Actually, I want to change mine to 3-2 Portland.
Okay. I think that my bad luck is going to make this another 7-0 game. And it's all going to depend on if they continue to play man-to-man because they've shown that it doesn't work against the good teams. But anyways, we want to finish up with a little bit of fantasy?
Yeah. So at the time of recording, our highest score for the week,
as always,
is Ryan Anderson. So he's currently sitting on, I believe, 100.